we get to hear from you. Before I go ahead, today's Wednesday, and you know what's been happening every other day on a special show. 5,000 naira is up for grabs, and someone is going to get it. So, sorry, 50,000 naira. 2 people. 25K. Yeah, that's to put it better. Okay, so yes, that's also happening. So all you have to do is get on your browser and first type that website, OnePlayNG, and then buy your ticket for 500 naira. Right? And like to say, pray and play. May your line. Amen. Last week on the show, I had my very first winner was someone who had won on Cool FM, and then he won again on Nigeria. I'm like, oh my goodness, how are you doing this? Yeah, it's a good thing. So you also be that person. I'm not going to be you want to play all across the station, so but if you like, can do. And you should ticket today on the one.ne. All right, you can also add the US *880*6. Yeah, type it and told what to do. All right, so back conversation that we're having. And by the way, we're live on Facebook, so get on Facebook and be in the chit chat. Okay, so I saw another tweet, in line with what we're discussing already. Someone was basically trying to explain something about what happens, the responsibility that comes with someone becoming an adult. All right, so she basically said, hey, yeah, I can understand if your parents did not teach you your native language. Perhaps you grew up in the city, like some people who are in Port Harcourt, but they cannot speak Yoruba. God will help you. All right, and now that you are an adult, what are you waiting for? You still want to blame your mom and your dad? Oh, my parents did me dirty. They didn't teach me our language. So she just tweeted and she said something interesting. She said she grew up in Abuja and she's actually Igbo. And she only knew words like bia and gawa and perhaps, the names of some foods and perhaps some animals. And then she said English was like her first language, right? But after living abroad for almost 10 years, she decided to teach herself Igbo. And how did she do that? She went through online classes. Now, she had to switch all her gadgets to Igbo. You know how you get your phone and, like I'm seeing notifications here, right? Let me see an example. Okay, like I can see Wednesday, July 2, right? Right on my screen. For her, it's not going to be this kind of Wednesday. It's going to be maybe Wednesday. I don't know how they say it, like write it in Igbo. But that's basically what you will see. Her social media accounts, her Twitter, she basically talked about her is it called Twitter? X accounts. Is in Igbo. Yeah, where you have updates or you have followers. She had it in Igbo, everything in Igbo. So she had to just go all out. Why? Because she wanted to learn. And then she said she still ensures that her subscription is up to date. Why? Because she wants to watch Africa Magic Igbo in the abroad. Whether or not, that's what she will watch. She said her playlist is basically Zoro, Flavor, and Fino. That she said it was more like a chore for her, but she was out to get something and she's gotten it. And when she's talking with her parents over the phone, they're speaking Igbo. Nobody's speaking English. And if she's not getting it right, they will correct her. Right? Exactly. So, yeah, it's not your fault that you didn't grow up speaking your language. But at a certain age, she says there's nobody to blame but yourself. Because if you wanted to, you would. So back to my basic question, is it really a must to speak your native language? Must you speak? Must we speak? Must I speak? And then, should you feel ashamed as an adult if you don't speak your native language? Is this something to be ashamed of? Because actually, people were, those who were criticizing Erica, they were basically saying, you're not ashamed of yourself. You can't speak your native language. Even me, I was like, what is there to be ashamed of? She has gotten this far without speaking the language. Why are you people now drinking Panadol on her head? Anyway, so is this something should be ashamed of? And should we still blame our parents? As an adult, yeah, if you can't speak your native language, or should you now be blaming yourself? And if you do speak your native language, and especially if you grew up in the city where your native language is not the language, like Port Harcourt, there is no one language in Port Harcourt. You speak English or Pidgin English, That's how we communicate here. So tell me what has helped you in case you were one of those people who grew up in a place like this, maybe Lagos or any of those cities, and you can still speak your native language. How did you do it? Maybe your parents taught you. And if they didn't, what did you do differently? Let's talk. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0007. Remember, I said I'm taking you back to your village. I hope it's not a bad thing. Okay. So also send me a message via WhatsApp to 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. And what else now? What else? Oh, yeah, basically that. On Facebook, you can get on there. Nigerian Info 92.3 PH. All right. We've got a caller. While you're trying to sort out getting us your name. Let's see. Who's here? Taylor Harry. Hi, Taylor. He says, good afternoon to you, Constance. Your question tagged much. I speak my language. My answer is yes. If you know how to speak your native identity, your native language, it identifies you that you are a real native of a particular tribe. And for that reason, I will go a long way to help you in all. It will go a long way to help you in all ramifications. From a Palibo Taylor Harry. All right, Palibo Taylor Harry. We see that. Who's this now? Principal from Ogubolo. Welcome.
Yeah. I can say that for you not to hear your language as an indigenous of your community, I think it's very disgraceful and it's an embarrassment to you. So it is important for every person that is coming from any ethnic group or any community as an indigenous to be able to hear your language. Do you know that I was born at Port Harcourt? Yeah.
You were born in Port Harcourt?
Yes, my parents were Okrikans. Yeah. So when my mother now found out that, if continue in this way, my children will not hear Okrika language. So she brought us when we were small. Me and my brother, we came to our community to know our community and some of our relations and our brothers and sisters. So from there, we started knowing the language, speaking the language. So as I'm talking to you now, from that time I was brought to my community, I am still in my community. I could be able to hear the deep and the light language of my community.
All right, Prince Will.
So
thank you.
You can see how language is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. George from Ahoda. Which of the Ahodas? Ahoda East or West?
Ahoda East.
Ahoda East, like the Ahoda East.
Yes.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Let me just add to what they are saying, say something about it. Actually, I'm from Ahoda, but I never grew up in Ahoda. I stayed most of my life in Port Harcourt, in Aba, and then in Lagos, about 10 years in Lagos before I traveled out. Then I came back again. But the magic thing here is that we are four in number. Our mother gave birth to four of us. Now, my mother make us speak our language.
Okay.
Because once in a while, she speaks it to us. In fact,
could you help me and turn off your radio set?
All right. So far from me, but no problem.
All right.
So once in a while, she speaks it to us, and then we hear, we respond. Sometimes it's funny, and then but she encourages us to continue, and then we tried our best. And now it's really helping because I happen to be a pastor right now, and I'm pastoring in a local church where the language needs to be spoken.
Yeah.
And the joyful thing about it is that even though I've never lived at all in Nahoda, this is the first year. It's like making me a year now. I'm here. Now you discover that I can speak.
That's beautiful.
I can in the meeting. There was a time when I was in the family meeting. I was the financial secretary, and I'm doing well. So
okay.
I think it's very important that parents should help teach their children. Yes, they will speak English outside, but when you want to send them message, don't also be using English too much.
Okay. Thank you, George. Mr. Zion from JRA, good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
Genesis chapter 11 from verse 1. That is the origin that whose language was born. And you can see the uniqueness of it. It was recorded that they all went away. So any man who cannot speak his language or his dialect is a call for concern. Records were even kept in archives that during the Civil War, language was used to separate some of us if you cannot speak your language. So post-Civil War, our parents were indicted for not teaching their children their languages. And it became an honest desire that everybody should start speaking languages. In some cultures and some tribes, they have to motivate their local orchestras to start singing their songs in their local dialect, let it be on archive. And blame goes to parents whose children cannot speak their local dialect. As the baby is in the womb, science recorded it that as we are talking, the baby is listening. So why can't the mother be speaking their language even when the baby is in the womb? If she doesn't know, why can't she get their local music, put on their phones, play it for the baby to be listening from the womb? Some of us, nobody taught us our languages. We grew into the language. We are born into the language. So you say you cannot speak your language. Some of them just form a fizzy. They won't claim for us so that if you speak their language, they are speaking. But you are speaking accent from Britain. Are you not fooling yourself? Our language remains paramount.
All right.
And we must protect it and sustain it for the next generation to come. Mr. Zion.
Thank you, Mr. Zion. He basically actually said, if you cannot speak your local dialect, are you not ashamed of yourself? Wow. So he's answered part of the questions I asked. Because I asked, should you feel ashamed as an adult if you cannot speak your native language? Mr. Zion says, you should be ashamed of yourself. But he didn't say it like that. I'm sure you heard him. Okay, let's hear from you. Is it really a must to speak your native language? Must I speak? That's the question I'm asking. I mean, this conversation touches on identity, upbringing, and of course, perhaps I would say personal pride. For some people, speaking their language, their local language, is like a thing of pride for them. You know, they can speak their English really good, and then when they are amongst their kinsmen, they can also speak their native language. All right, let's hear from Walter. Walter is calling from Rukboku. Hi, Walter. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my sister.
Welcome.
How is today work?
Fine, thank you.
Fine. Happy New Month.
Yeah, happy New Month,
Even
sir.
though most of us are hungry.
Why are you hungry again?
There's no money, no work.
Walter.
Business is, flying back. You don't have customers.
Customers are coming.
This emergency have affected many things within business.
It will soon be over.
Like what you are saying, it is very, very important for you to know or learn your language so that you don't be deprived of some things from the communities or from your local government. Let me tell you, something happened 90s when I was doing revenue in the local government. If not that I was here, a girl would have been, denied of education later because she said she's from Rukboku.
Mm-hmm.
Then the counselor asked her, "Who is your father? Who is your parents?" She cannot even, in our language, she can't speak the language. I said, So I had to intervene. I said, who is your father? Who is your mother? And these are the people I knew. In fact, they told her, see, from today, you start to learn your dialect. And they gave her the education later. Even though sometimes the counselors, some of them then were using that opportunity to use that education and give to outsiders, which most of them have used to gain work because they were speaking Ikore language. For you to, it's not that you won't learn English language. today, people are trying to introduce their local dialects. Some even say that they should introduce them in schools, which is better.
All right.
So,
thank you, Walter. Okonkwo from Rumokuta, are you still there, please?
I'm there, my sister. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Please go on.
I'm enjoying your program, Language.
Thank you.
I don't know whether you're an able woman. If you were to be, I wonder what our people will say any day you get to the village and you tell them, you see every person shouting. They will say, one for Abatago. Please, native language is important.
Okay.
Mother tongue is important. I think more than any other thing, because you went to London, you went to America, or you go to Cameroon. No matter where you go around the world, one day you must return home, and you must use your traditional language to discuss with your people.
Okay.
Both the youth, the women of your village, the elders. You can't bring English now. You bring English, they will condemn you immediately and begin to look at you as a fool. So it is a must, according to your question.
All right.
It's a must, and it is necessary, highly fundamental and basic.
All right. Thank you very much. Ezeked from Ubumini. Thank you so much for staying on the line.
Good afternoon, Constance.
Good afternoon, sir.
Happy New Month, even if today is second.
Happy New Month, Ezeked. Thank you.
Constance, it is very, very essential, compulsory, and more than important for one to know his or her local language. Because English language or French language is a borrowed language. We paid for it before we learn it. But our natural language is the one our parents taught us freely from the God who created us. I don't know if you understand me. So anyone who is forming to be an Americana and whatever Western language the person is trying to speak, trust me, that person is also battling to know how to speak his or her language. So for me, my language is very, very important to me. Thank you very much. Ezekiel, calling from moving.
Thank you so much, Ezeked. Lasbury from OGRA. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, in my opinion, I think we are belittling ourselves as a people. I can remember during the first tenure of President Trump, where he came out to criticize Nigerians for being lazy, they are criminals and fraudsters and all of that. And CNN released a report showing that Nigerians were one of the most successful academically in the U.S. If it comes to work ethics, they were on top. If it comes to foreigners who occupied most of the higher positions in the country, Nigerians were on top. Medically, the Nigerian doctors are the ones that are making waves in the foreign countries, especially in the U.S. What about the nurses as well? We need to think in a global manner, belittling ourselves to speaking our language when we know that we are not going to be here forever. Not everybody wants to leave, good and fine. But what about those who have found themselves from River State where they were born and they are indigenous of River State and they are now living in Lagos, they are now living in Abuja, Kano, or outside the country? Of what good is the language to them? It's the reason why UK started asking Nigerians for English proficiency. Why? Because most of them got there and they can't speak good English. So why are we literally belittling ourselves to just our own languages? I'm from Tombia in Calabria, what's the population? So if my goal is to speak Calabar fluently and I can't find someone to speak it with, what's the use? So the mindset should be on a global level. If I have children in the future that need to learn languages, I think they'll be going for rather a French class or a Chinese class than going for a class in local language. That's just my opinion, though.
All right. Thank you, Lasbury. But then I was checking online to see if truly Trump, in his first tenure, called Nigerians those things he mentioned, lazy or criminal and all that. And I'm seeing here that there's no record of such, right? There were actually media reports and what's the word? That he said some things, of course, he's always talking, about Africans and immigrant communities, generally, but calling Nigerians lazy and saying that they were criminals, there's really no record of such. But they are saying that indoor, he had some things to say, but I just had to put this out there. Anyway, moving on. Can I take any calls right now? I think I have got commercials. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I have a commercial coming up. Just one. But then my last caller says, talking about speaking your native language, it's limiting. It means you're not thinking global. You're too local. Yeah, but must we all be global? Some people prefer to be local. I mean, some people have gone to the abroad, in quote, and they came back. And guess where they went back to? Their village. They're not living in any city. They're living in their village amongst their kinsmen. Some of them have even got to carry their shrine. The shrine in their village. I'll be right back. Commercials coming up.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info.